Ethereum emergency update. If Ethereum stays above $1,200 over the next few days, we're likely to see it to rocket to $1,500. And today I'm going to show you the technical reasons of why, keeping everything very simple and easy to understand so you can maximize your profits from the markets. So if you like today's content, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's dive straight into Ethereum. We are now on a daily chart with Ethereum. I'm going to keep it really simple. The main thing you want to take away from today is the trend. To always buy in the direction of the trend, because the trend is your friend. Ride it until its end, until it reaches its bend. So we've got our trend identifier dashboard here at the bottom. And we can see that the bigger trend is a strong bull. In other words, it's a uptrend. So the bigger macro wave is pointing up. And now what we're waiting for is for the smaller trend, which is the daily chart, to also marry up with the bigger trend. At the moment, it's bearish. So this is a momentum indicator that we use. It's one of the most powerful, easiest, and simplest to use. Over the next 2 days, if it goes below this black line over here into this zone, and the blue line crosses above the red, and the price has not gone below this point here, which we're talking about $1,200, we're likely to see Ethereum drive up to $1,500. And I'm going to break down some of the technical reasons of why, what drives price action, how you can read it ahead of time and stack the odds in your favor so you're on the correct side of the market so you can maximize your profits. By the way, if you like the idea of this trend identifier, we built this ourselves. This is my 15 years of trading experience, really identifying the trend, but I've created a dashboard which also tells you what to do. So right now it says stand aside because the smaller trend is pointing in the opposite direction of the larger trend. When they're pointing in the same direction, this what to do section will say consider buying because the probability is in our favor. So you can now test out the trend identifier dashboard for £1, 30 days. If you like it, it's £9.97 per month. I've done a lot of training in it as well. So you get a training on how to utilize it. It comes with a few extra features as well, and you'll absolutely love it. So it's £1. Check it out. I'm telling you, it'll be a game changer for you. And this is how we're going to use it. So I'm being patient right now for the dashboard to tell me. I'm going to wait another 2 days, 1 or 2 days, basically until this red line comes a bit lower. And in the ideal world, and it's more than likely going to occur, is that the blue line crosses over the red. When this happens, the dashboard tells me, and it will shine up as green. And then all of a sudden, we have a nice buying criteria set up for ourselves. So let's just break this down in a bit more detail, because what you want to think the markets as is a sprinter, like it does a 100-meter sprint, and then often needs a breather, a rest period to recover, and then it's ready for its next sprint. So that's what we've seen over here. We've seen a nice sprint to the upside over here, and then it needs a nice rest period, breather, causes a correction. Here I've labeled it as a wave 2 or B, because markets tend to move in 5s and 3s. And the correction, more often than not, the first correction is a wave 2 or a wave B. And at this stage, they look identical. So we don't know which one, and we don't need to know which one. Then we've had the next mini sprint, right? So that's healthy for the market. Now, what would indicate to us that this top is going to hold and the market is going to continue to the downside is if the price overlaps into the closing range of the former wave. Good, you get? Say that again. Wait, say it again. Okay, well, the former wave is this. We got this move up and this move down. And this is the top of the former wave on closing price. If the price goes below this point, that's the 1200 point, below this point, then that's going to indicate to us that this top is likely to hold. So the trends are likely not to continue. However, if we get a bullish momentum reversal, in other words, the momentum changes to the upside, because markets tend to move in these rhythms and cycles, then, and it hasn't closed into this range, then we're probably going to get a continuation and we're going to probably break this top here and go to the next resistance level. So I'm going to finish on a couple more things here because this is really, really powerful information, but we can keep it really simple. We don't need to complicate things. So how would you enter something like this? So I'm going to just play this out, right? So we don't know if this is going to happen, but let's just play it out. So let's just say that the next 1 or 2 days, the momentum goes into this, it's called the oversold zone. and the blue line, let's say it's 2 days time, crosses over the red, this here now says bull. This here would say bull when it crosses over. This over here will turn green and it will say consider buying. Let's just say that was right now. Well, you do something really, really simple. I would look to buy on a 1 bar high. I'm going to change it to green so we can see it really, really clearly as a buy. Or you can go a bit more conservative on a swing high and put your stop loss on the swing low, right? And then what we've got to the upside is a nice potential move to here. Now you might be wondering, Jakir, why 1500? Like, why that number in particular? Well, there's particular ratios that buying and selling behavior occurs at more often than not. So that's why we want to stack the probabilities in our favor. And one of the most powerful ratios is called the golden mean Fibonacci ratio 1.618. And when we're looking at this, if we are going to get a continuation to the upside, if I just show it to you like this, we got this move up, the second breather, the next movement to the way up is if we measure how big this movement was to the upside, the next typical ratio is 1.618 of this. And that's how we got to this number over here, which is pretty much $1,500. So that's highly probable as long as we do not close below the 1200 mark and we get a nice bullish reversal, then the trend identifier will tell us right now consider buying because the favor is on the upside. We've got 2 degrees, bigger trend, smaller trend, pointing in the same direction. Now we want to have a entry strategy with tight risk management where we can say, right, we're happy risking 2% of our account size to find out if we're right. Then we can get 2, 3, 4, maybe even a 5x on the way up, depending on how tight we can get the entry. So check out the trend identifier. It's £1 for a 30-day trial. I'm telling you, I put so much time into this. It's incredible. But I actually built it for myself. So it's easier for me to identify the trend. You can put up to 20 different assets. I show you creative ways of using it. And we're constantly updating it as well. So you'll get a massive amount of value. And you'll get some trend buy and sell signals on the chart. And I'll show you how to use that as well. So let me know what you think. Ethereum, is it going to hold? Is it going to stay above $1,200? And is it going to hit that $1,500 mark? Well, we'll see. We'll keep a very, very close eye on it. So let's finish today on a quote. I normally read a quote from my book, but I want to go with one from the top of my mind. Let's go with, it's one of my favorites. It's from a book called Black Box Thinking, great business book. Beneath every success is a mountain of necessary failure. Failure is one of the core ingredients of success. And sometimes in life, a lot of times in life, you have to put yourself out there where the possibility of failure is a reality, but there's lessons to be learned from every failure where things don't go your way. But often the lesson is hidden. It's the silver lining. But you have to look for the lesson. And if you can grasp that lesson from, a lot of people have not sold in the peak of the bull market and have held on right the way down. And that's considered, you may consider that as a failure. But what learnings can be applied so when the next bull market comes into play, that you can apply profit-taking strategies. We don't need to get overly aggressive where you can become risk-free at logical, mechanical, objective points where you don't need to, have this going on too much. So Ethereum, we'll keep a close eye on it. Check out the trend identifier and I'll see you soon.